Hi, this is day 7 of 30 Days of Self-Growth. This is a free 30-day video program to guide you into deeper levels of personal growth and spiritual transformation. My name is Arnie Peterson from Awareness and Health. I'm a hypnotherapist, an energy healer, and a mindfulness spiritual teacher. And I love talking about this stuff. And today I want to talk about fight or flight. And we've talked about this quite a bit so far. I want to talk about this from a perspective of how it disconnects us from our body feelings that we can't handle, how we dissociate with these automatic programs and avoid the connection from our body, feelings in our body. And we have all kinds of habits that we don't even know that we're doing that keep us away from happiness. And I'm going to talk about this a few more times, a few more videos, talking about kind of problems that come up, understanding how the subconscious mind works, how we have these habitual programs that pull us into old blocks or negative programs. And then we're going to start moving into some of the other videos into solutions and then tools and steps we can really do to start really moving forward. And so for today, I want to talk about dissociation, how we quite often will disconnect from our body, from the present moment, into a thought-based reality. So how we disconnect from what's really going on in the moment, and we end up living our life in our head, that we just have these habits of checking out. And we're never really going to be fully happy in life if we have those habits of checking out, because how can we be happy with something we're always pushing away from? If we have a habit of checking out, how can we be happy with life as it is? And we can never be happy and fulfilled by a thought-based reality because we're not really physically experiencing it, because it's not really what's going on. It's just an illusory reality in our thoughts. Now, we can get stuck into a habit of this. You know, we're busy at work, we don't like what we do, so we're thinking about something else, we're thinking about the weekend, or we get caught on dwelling on negativity, things like that. We can end up living our life just through that mental-based reality instead of the reality, the here and now of being in our physical body. That's what truly being present is. Being present with the moment as it arises, feeling what we feel, the energy from the moment as experience happens. We feel it in our body as the energy, as the experience, the feeling sensations. And we're connected and in tune, and that energy of life fuels us with curiosity in the moment. Now, when I was younger, I spent a lot of time just really stuck in fight or flight and fears, and I had a lot of severe social anxiety, panic attacks, and things like that. And so I ended up, my go-to was ice cream and chocolate bars and cookies and things like that. I would eat them to numb and disconnect myself from life. And the amount of times that I would eat something, it would be a quick fix. I would feel something, and immediately the coping mechanism was to just eat some treat or whatever. And for all of us, we all have things that we do to sort of avoid and cover up how we're feeling, to help ourselves feel better. And there was a time I remember where I had a day a little while ago where I was feeling really challenged, really kind of just, my energy was really jittery and really volatile, and just I felt like I was burnt out with energy, and I was just so much in my head, and I just had trouble getting out of my head that day. I was just doing so much too much work on the computer, and I was analyzing and thinking. I could just feel I was really out of balance. And I got home, and I really wanted to watch a movie. And so I decided to watch a movie, and I was looking through movies, and the first movie that jumped into my mind was this really action-filled movie, a lot of movement, a lot of action, and all of that stuff. And my mind wanted to watch that movie. But I knew deep down inside, I kind of felt like I really need to just be at peace. And maybe meditating would have been a better way to go, but at least a movie, perhaps, that maybe if I watched a movie that was a little more real life and just a very enjoyable movie that was peaceful and calm, that would have been a lot better way to go, because that was the energy that I was feeling I needed to be around. But my mind took over because I was resonating with this fast busyness, all of this fast thinking, this overwhelming movement in my head. I was just so busy in my head. I ended up going for the action movie. And I watched that movie and I was sort of consciously paying attention to how I was feeling throughout. And I almost stopped the movie, but I continued to watch it. I just kept watching because I already started it. But by the time it was over, I was 10 times feeling worse than I was to start with, because I basically added jitteriness, action, fast, too much movement on top of what I was already feeling. And the point of this was that I didn't listen to that inner feeling in my body that was guiding me, my heart. I knew intuitively that I really needed to calm my energies into ground and to just feel some peaceful, slow energy, because I was already feeling too much fast energy. And I disconnected from my body feelings, from my intuition. And our intuition is very powerful. It'll guide us in life every way we need, but we have to be connected to our body. If we're not connected to our body, life can't guide us. And then we end up going by our thoughts, by our mind. And if we're going by our mind, we're not present. Our point of power is in the present moment. When we're grounded in our body, we're present. But when we're running from the mental programs in our mind, we're actually running on subconscious programming automatically. And that'll end up steering us to behaviors like watching that movie or eating the treats or drinking or smoking or doing all kinds of things that don't end up leading us to feel good when we do them repetitively all the time. And so it's really important, if we really want to be present and we want to feel better, we need to be grounded and present in the moment. So I've got some questions for you today. Okay, and I'm going to start going into more questions as we're moving along in this program. Now, I want to ask this question. Make a list of the things you do to avoid unhappy and uncomfortable feelings. So when you feel unhappy or you feel uncomfortable, what's the common go-to that you do to feel better? What do you do? What are the kind of things? So first one is, what do you do to avoid uncomfortable feelings? Question one. Question two, what do you do to feel better than you feel when you don't feel good? And three, when you avoid things that you want to do, what do you do? If you're busy working or something and you don't want to be there, do you listen to music to not be there? Do you make jokes to try and pass the time? Or do you try and avoid doing the things altogether? Now, these questions, they're on my website. If you're watching this off my website, or if you're on my website now, it's the green bar. Just click on that where it says the question and descriptions, and it'll be a drop-down menu. It'll open up and you can read the full description of this video, and then the questions are there. So those questions are there. Now really challenge yourself and get a piece of paper and write the question down and then answer these questions. You really learn a lot about yourself, and this will open up a lot of freedom to help you connect back to the present moment. If you notice, well, I do have some of these programs going on that keep pulling me away. And if you want to be present and you want to be presently active and have a say in how your life unfolds, you have to be present with your body. So these questions will help you do that. And I also have an additional challenge for you today, two of them. One, challenge yourself to not do a habit that you're used to doing. Okay, like drink a coffee in the morning. Say you drink a coffee. Say one of your go-tos, those things you do to avoid feeling uncomfortable, or just a regular habit like a coffee in the morning or something like that. Don't do it. See what happens. And the second one is sit with the feelings that arise. So don't do something you're used to habitually doing every day, and then see what happens, see what arises, see the kind of thoughts you get in your mind. Sometimes I've stopped doing something and I feel these thoughts in my mind that surprising what my thoughts will actually say. It feels like it's going to drive me crazy if something doesn't stop. And when I was a kid, my dad he drank coffee, and he still does. And he would always say, if I don't have my coffee, I'm going to have a really bad day. And it was funny that if he didn't have his coffee, he was in a really grumpy mood all day if I was around him. And it was interesting that he had such a belief that that coffee meant he would have a good day. Kind of like, if it was sunny out, I'll have a good day. But if it's raining, I'm going to have a really bad day. That's letting our outer circumstance dictate our happiness, and then we're a victim to life, not really participators in life where we have some actually conscious say to our outcome of how we feel and what we do in life. So breaking these things down, these habitual behaviors, is really helpful. So when you do this, when you cut out that habit, try it for a day, see what arises, see what feelings come up, and sit with the feelings. Just sit with them, be with them, acknowledge them, and just notice them. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, but this is your path to emotional competence, where you're able to be with your feelings and emotions, because that's where our freedom is in life. That if we want to do something that's up here, but we're down here, whatever feelings arise through the steps to get up here, they're the things that keep us locked down in our small comfort zone down here. If we want to get up here, we need to be able to handle the feelings and emotions come up in the steps that take us to get there. And so practicing this, doing little challenges like this, cutting out that morning coffee or tea or something, and seeing what arises in you and sit with the feelings, that will help you to expand your comfort zone. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I really hope you have a wonderful day, and I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow.